Hello and welcome to the Art Market Podcasts.
I'm Fiona Pattison.
Today I'm here with newcomer Abigail Harding. Hello Abigail, how are you?
Oh, I'm absolutely fine, thank you. I'm actually quite excited. Yes.
So are we at the Art Market, definitely. So tell us a little bit about your background and what you create.
My background, well, if you were saying about like introduction to art, I would say, well, I had learning problems when I was younger. I had been born with hearing disability. So because my mum, she was actually an art student as well, it was actually really fun to actually be able to be introduced to art as a creative and also a communication medium as well. I was like, I don't know a day where I wasn't drawing or I wasn't painting. Times have changed now, but I used to be able to do ceramics like I was in nursery school because we did like the Ramadan things, so we did like all the little pots and ceramics and things like that. But I think I don't know even if they're even allowed to do that anymore, like health and safety and things like that. But being able to be introduced to that kind of medium, I was like, I just wanted to stay with it. I wanted to to do this with my life. I actually wanted to make things. I wanted to create things. There's a really deep meaning to art. There's a message that you can bring over. It's a language in its own, but you don't need words to explain it. It's meant to be provocative. It's meant to make others turn around and see. You know, you've got your controversy, but that's what art does. And to be honest, I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to show my thoughts and my feelings because it was better for me to do that than say in words and writing it down, because when I was younger I couldn't really do that. I was always like classes behind because I always felt that I was lacking in the core lessons like English and maths. I mean, my GCSEs said it all. I mean, I got a distinction star in art. Everything else I passed, but only with a C. So it was like the most boring thing to look at. But that little distinction star. But that's where. But it was obvious where I wanted to be.
You found your place in art, and it kind of gave you that opening to kind of be creative. So describe some of your pieces and how you work. So what will we be seeing at the Art Market?
You'll be seeing, well, my specialty is actually animal sculpture, but I like to be a bit more metaphorical. I like to capture their essence. I like to show a dynamic movement in them that you wouldn't really see in such animals. It's like I'm working on a current piece. It's a scorpion actually, and I've got it in a movement that you just wouldn't expect them to actually be in. I find that they are such an interesting animal to study. I wanted to go with an obscurity. I like it. Animals that actually, they shape the area around them completely in the most unexpected ways. I think that's what animals like insects kind of do, and arachnids. It's why you get like the phobias. They're very unusual, and they kind of bring those kind of emotions to the front, and that's what I like to bring out in the people who want to see my work, who who will see my work. I like to kind of give them a deeper kind of understanding, it's that understanding that I couldn't really explain to them as a person. I'd have to show them because that's what I would do. I have to, because as I'm an artist, I would have to.
So describe your process. With the scorpions, do you study the scorpions? Are you getting their personality and their mannerisms? And is it kind of kinetic energy that you're working with as well?
Yeah, actually, with a lot of my work at the moment, including the scorpion especially, I've been working as a slab build. So I've been using a slab roller and literally tearing the clay and then just kind of letting it fall into the shape, kind of letting the clay do what it wants and sit wherever it wants. But I actually have this problem where I work a bit too fast for the clay. So I'm having to prop it up with absolutely everything and anything I see in the studio. Down from cardboard tubing, Activia pots, yogurt pots are amazing. They are the best. Their design is brilliant. It is brilliant. They are brilliant. I mean, come on, they're stacking design. You stack them on top of each other. It's the best way to prop. It's like all the professionals use like proper scaffolding and things like that. And it's like one of my idols is Beth Kavanagh Stitcher, and wow, I've seen some of her work in progress. She uses like steel armatures and scaffolding a lot. It's like,
how big is her work?
Oh, it's massive. It's like I have this idea. I want to get big. I want to make bigger and bigger things.
So how big are your pieces at the moment?
At the moment, I'd say about 3/4 of an arm ish.
Yeah.
I actually throw materials in there like fabrics, lacing. Wow. You don't need to actually spend hours on end making little scales or any little textures.
So using netting.
I'm using less is more. Yeah. I'm using the less is more. So I'm rolling it in with the clay, peeling it back, and it's almost like a stencil effect. So I'm getting like all these like lacing effects, and then you push it out, and then it ends up separating the texture, and it forms it into like scales naturally, or any ripples or anything. Even scoring as well, lines. I'm actually also on the go making an ibex as well, but it's a freestanding one. I'm actually hoping.
What's that? Sorry.
An ibex is it's a large goat species, and it has these absolutely incredible horns. They are actually really, really incredible to look at. I mean, the reason why I'm doing the scorpion and the ibex actually is because I'm doing this final project, and I wanted to actually do this what if. I mean, as an artist, the most important part and what makes me me is my hands. The idea of having those lost, it would, it'd devastate me, the whole idea of it. And I wanted to make these sculptures. These are like obscure ones you wouldn't think of, taking away the most prominent or the one thing that just makes them distinct, replacing them but highlighting them at the same time. It's like with a horse, you would associate them with the speed, their elegance. That famous one of Napoleon, it's the stance, it's the power. What I'd do if I did that, I'd actually have the legs removed, but what I'd do, I'd make the whole horse out of ceramics. But what I'd do is, at its leather hard stage, I'd actually remove the legs, have them all fired at the same time. But because that would mean that the legs wouldn't be shrinking at a different stage, because that's the worst thing that could happen. Making a key for them as well. And what would happen was, I'd cast the legs in a metal, or I'd replace them with a different material.
Okay.
And that would represent that. It would represent that missing piece. Hence the title of my project, Missing Pieces. It's thinking twice about it, really.
Are they still powerful, even though, to you, as the artist, the creator, are they still powerful, even with their steel legs? I mean, would that make them even more powerful, or
it's that highlight, it's that importance, that contrast with the materials kind of states that as well. The ibex, I'm planning on removing the horns because they're the most distinct feature on the animal, and I'm hoping to cast them in pewter.
Have you got a website, or have you just got a Facebook
page? Facebook at the moment. Facebook page at the moment. I do have a Tumblr, and I've just started up a Twitter account as well.
Do you know what you want to do afterwards? Do you want to obviously carry on with your artwork and things like that?
I'd love to, yeah. I mean, I'll probably be, ceramics, starting off straight from uni, especially with how my lifestyle at the moment. it's a very expensive way to kick off in art. Let's just say that as soon as you step out the door, you'll be falling down the stairs with it sometimes. It depends. But you're having to look at workshops, you're having to look at kilns, you're having to look at insurances. A lot of it is very hard to afford right off as you get on.
So tell us about working with the art market, and tell us about your experience with Brendan. So he came to have a talk here at the university, didn't he? So.
Yes, he did. It was actually, I was really, really excited to meet him because, I mean, the opportunity to be able to meet a professional ceramic artist who specialises in an area that I'm actually wanting to take more of an interest in. I felt like I could actually be on kind of the same level as in, I could get him.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. And we could understand each other.
Yeah.
And I remember he did a quick tutorial on how to make a rabbit, because he just makes loads of rabbits, because I know, because he just does, but it's one of his specialties. But it's how he worked with the clay as well. It kind of inspired me, being able to work with what you've got and letting the rougher areas, sometimes less is more. He also did this free eye tutorials as well, which was also using the less is more kind of idea, where he just drew into the clay and then he just pressed the back of the clay that I'd on the opposite side he'd been drawing on, and then he kind of just morphed them naturally into kind of impressions of eyes, not literal, trying to be as close as detail, but it was that impression, and that's what I like to see.
So you kind of gained a lot in being with Brendan and talking to him.
Yeah, it's a massive inspiration. I admire his work a lot.
So what are you looking forward to the most going to the art market in November, and what date are you doing it?
Oh, right. I'm doing both Sundays, I believe. I think it's the 23rd and the 30th, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I'm looking forward to, I think it's that buzz, that experience. I want to be around professionals.
Looking forward to seeing you at the art market,
yes,
Abigail,
yes.
and seeing your work.
I can't wait.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
If you would like to know more about the art markets, go to www.artmarkets.co.uk. Thank you for listening.